Hello and welcome to another episode of The Fence Show, ActiveYards edition. And today I am very excited to have a guest visiting our Galloway office from
Polk County,
Winter Haven, Florida.
Yep.
Ken Morrison of Superior Fence and Rail. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Thank you.
Excited to be here?
I am learned quite a lot.
Have you had a good day today?
Yeah, it's been good, very good.
So you flew in this morning from Orlando?
We did, yeah, flew in, arrived here around 11 o'clock, had lunch, a tour of the factory, some training from Jen, and ordered a truck from Matt.
Matt actually got a sale today?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Good job.
And
Never let him leave without a sale.
he closed the deal before I got through his office.
Well, that's good. And you brought a guest with you today?
I did, yeah, for a little bit of ActiveYards training and an insight.
Any particular person who that was?
I brought my eldest son, William, that's getting involved in the fence business, and I thought some education from other than me, he might listen to a little bit more than he has been.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
My daughters were track runners for many years, and I have a lot of experience in track running, and they wouldn't listen to a word I said, but they listened to the guy with the whistle, no matter what his experience was. So, good idea bringing him here. So, well, a couple of good things, and welcome again to the studio audience. We have a studio audience today. Hi, everyone. Hello. Yes, this is our first studio audience episode of The Fence Show. So we're excited to have you here today. This is also the first time we're doing a show from our home studio. Something tells me in a couple of months the studio will be a lot different than it is today. So those of you watching out there today at home, this is just the beginning of a bright future. You won't know the difference whether you're watching Jimmy Fallon, Conan O'Brien, or The Fence Show, ActiveYards edition. So anyway, Ken, I'm so excited to have you here. So I'm just going to take advantage of you taking the trip. And first things first, you don't sound like you're from South Florida. Did you grow up in Dixieland, or where are you from?
No, originally from Scotland. Then we moved to England, and then I think my wife calls it a midlife crisis. We moved to Florida 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yep.
And what was your trade in England?
I was in construction. I was in building and remodeling homes and properties. That was my main business.
Okay. And so 10 years ago you came over and you decided to start a fence company, and you got started about, 10 years ago?
Yeah, about nine years ago we got into it. We applied for a visa, come across, started working with some fellow fence people, and established a shop in Polk County.
So that's in Winter Haven, Florida?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're 9 years into the fence business, and if I recall, when we got started with you with ActiveYards, you were just getting started, or did we just start with you about a year after you got started?
It was about a year after. It was
a year into it or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been with ActiveYards since basically 2009, I guess, 2010 probably.
2010, yeah.
Awesome. And what's your business makeup as far as like residential, commercial? Is it primarily residential?
It's about 90% residential.
Yeah.
It's a easier place for us to be in, and it gives us the advantage with the tools that we have. We are certainly at an advantage. Yeah. And it's a more comfortable place to be at.
Yeah. And what's your mix, you think, between the four different types of fencing: aluminum, vinyl, chain link, and wood? I
think around 60% vinyl, 25% aluminum, and the mixture rest of wood and chain link.
So your basic, for those of our dealers and viewers around the country, that's a pretty big mix of vinyl versus wood. So on a typical backyard, you're probably, for privacy fence, you're probably hitting 80% vinyl, 20% wood. Is that about what it is?
Yeah.
We've been together for a long time, and as a partner with ActiveYards, you and I have worked together. Jen's worked with you. Your business, Superior Fence and Rail, Polk County, is probably one of our top 10, top 15 dealers in the country, year in and year out, doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
How would you describe your relationship with ActiveYards?
It's gone from strength to strength to market leader, really. We are without a shadow of a doubt. We had a few teething problems at the start, come with some great benefits, and the products developed from commodities into ingenuities, and then everything that comes with that, from the brochure, the videos, the product, everything it's put us so ahead of the game.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
My biggest, empathy to your situation in Florida is you're in a very commoditized market, and vinyl fence is, unfortunately, very prolific in terms of distribution, and our marketing plan was designed for you to have a competitive advantage. How do you set yourself apart by using the ActiveYards ingenuities? Like, what are the highlights of your sales presentation, whether it's you or your sales team? Like, how do you bring in, and say on a privacy fence like a dogwood, how do you bring it to life with the ingenuities? Like, how do you position the competitive advantages?
Well, we use the brochures, we use samples, we use the videos, and them three alone puts you at a competitive advantage. And then you add in your experience, your skills, and your interaction with the customer. It builds, and the whole story from the start to the finish is there. But mainly it is the samples is a massive advantage. The videos, where else do you go and get a video of a fence being erected or the ingenuity of a fence?
Do you show people that little glide lock video on sales calls?
Oh, most definitely. We set it up on their iPad. They've got all four. They've got the Stay Straight, they've got the Corrigin, the Solar Guard, and the Glide Lock. Depending on what they're selling, they will set up their iPad and push play. The customer will be watching the video while they're drawing up the paperwork, drawing up the proposal. And a picture tells 1,000 words. You can't, you look at a 90-second clip, I could sit here for 5 hours trying to explain what's in that 90-second clip.
Yeah, and it's right there.
And it's a visual aid that will win.
Especially for Solar Guard and things that are more esoteric.
Yeah. And it will win the advantage.
Yeah.
Without a shadow.
Yeah. So what are the biggest challenges running a business? What's your biggest challenges?
The biggest challenge is setting yourself apart from the competition, because people just think a white fence is a white fence, which is one of our biggest sellers. But until you actually get in front of the customer and educate them, then it isn't a white fence anymore.
Yeah.
It is an investment into your property.
When you bring it to life with ActiveYards and the ingenuities, then it kind of takes you away from like the competition.
And obviously trying to compete at a reasonable rate compared to a mum and pop truck outfit. Selling a commodity is hard work, but we've been very successful and quite blessed that we've got some good sales guys that have grasped the whole package.
Right.
And they promote that heavily, and they upsell competitors of 10 to 15%.
Yeah, you need to, and that, it's in order to maintain a profitable business, it only makes sense. What has been your experience with any of the Easy Fence to Go and material sales strategies? Have you been incorporating them into your business over the past couple of years?
We've tried the Easy Fence to Go. We didn't push it as hard as we could have. But now, obviously, I've got assistance from
a younger generation.
Younger generation
who knows how to sell stuff.
Yeah, on the internet as well. Yeah.
I had a conversation with his son today, and I was pretty impressed with some of the cool things he knows how to do, and how he's starting to move some product on Facebook, local marketplace, and some other things. Which a couple months from now we'll have him and his son Billy give us a little presentation of how to do it. That's how fast we work around here. You go from not knowing anything about anything to being the expert in a matter of a month. So keep that in mind, everybody.
I can sell and put fencing, but I'm not no Ridley Scott.
Well, I think
I'm a film director.
I think that you can do well in that department. So you're starting, because he was sharing today that you hit a few orders right off the bat, just trying to do a little bit proactive marketing that way.
Yeah, so. It was just a Sunday morning cup of coffee, and it was popped up on Facebook doing social media stuff, and it was marketplace. So I started looking, and people were selling things. I went, wonder if they're interested in fence.
I got a big pile of fence in my backyard. I might as well sell it, right?
6x6 white fence, best products on the market, X amount of dollars. I got hit with like 200 messages, and it was like, well, I've got too much to do. Really? So I woke him up, dragged him out of his bed, and I said, "This is what you need to do."
How many years of college you got done? 2. That's good. You're helping me out.
Yeah, so he
Good
started
job.
doing it, and I think I have to stop at the bank on the way home to get his commissions out, and sometimes it's painful.
Well, I think that you're onto something there, and I think it's one of those things that you start slowly. You're kind of like you see there's a little fruit there. You kind of put a little bit more energy into it, and believe it or not, you may find that there's a whole market there in that material side that is totally separate from the install side. It's almost like the way that you looked at your business with the box store versus your retail business. They're parallel universes. Well, guess what? There's another universe over there,
Yep.
and that's all the people that just want to buy materials. Some other fun stuff. So what do you like to do besides fence? What's your hobby?
Hobby, I used to play golf.
You used to play golf
Yeah.
before you became a fence man.
Yeah, pretty much so, yeah. And then now I'm just sort of like 7 days a week, 365, live by my cell phone, which I don't like. We like to eat out. My wife and I got some friends, 2 kids, 2 dogs, and look after the house really,
Yeah.
and go to work.
American dream.
Yeah, and live in the sunshine. That's the best thing. Live in the sunshine.
And live in the sunshine.
Yeah.
But your business has grown pretty significant. I think you're running normally you run about 3 or 4 salespeople, right?
Yeah, we're around 3 sales guys on a regular basis. We've got up to 5 crews.
Everyone here in the north, everybody's jealous of you. You got the good weather. You got the 12-month fence business.
Mm-hmm.
You've got sandy digging. So no one really feels bad for you about anything that you do, because you live in fencing fantasy land. I mean, seriously. I mean, don't we hear that every day? And you guys whine and complain about how competitive it is, but in the reality is, you live in the best country in the world. You got the best industry in the world, the best brand in the world, the best weather, the best state, the best digging. I mean, you should wake up every morning and be like doing the jig,
Yeah.
So is that how you start every day? It's like, wow, I got to remember I do have the greatest deal.
No.
Well, it's
Actually,
perspective.
No. Actually, when we first came, I wanted to semi-retire. And I think I'm working longer now, because it is. If some customers didn't get in the way, it would be a great job.
It's just those pesky customers that get in the way
but otherwise it is a
of
great
the check.
job. Yeah, it is a great job. You get to meet lots of people, you get to educate people, you get to promote a great brand, and you put the job in the ground, you put your name on it, you
And it's
take
there.
a photograph, and it's an achievement, and you're proud of it.
You just said it perfectly. That's how I actually look at the fence sales business, and that's exactly what my father told me 30 years ago when I interviewed him. Ironically enough, it would have been 40 years ago. I interviewed my father for a term paper for high school, and I asked him, "What do you like best about your job?" And it's exactly what he said. He said, "I get to drive around the countryside, meet new people, solve a problem for them. Then I get to give other people an opportunity to make money by installing the fence and all that. And then I get to see it all the time after I sold it for the next 20 years of my life." And I was like, wow, that sounds like better than selling insurance. It's pretty cool. It's tangible. So that's a really good sentiment.
Well, it's like having billboards everywhere.
Yeah.
Because when you put your nameplate on the finished products, you're proud to do it. It looks good. It's an awesome product. It's got your name on it, so
It's your stamp of approval. It is. What are you most proud of with what you've accomplished in the past 9 years? Because I got to tell you, I'm proud of what you've done, and I'm not you.
I think we're proud of the growth.
Yeah.
Learning the American way. Proud of the growth of the business and where it can go and where it's going to go, with obviously the backing of these guys, you guys, the whole team, the digital assets, the marketing. It's an endless piece of string.
What do you think your goals for the future are? Like, where would you like to take it from here?
Just continued growth and just setting ourselves and having the confidence of walking into a house knowing that you're going to walk out leaving a customer enamored that you're so much better than the competition.
Yeah.
Because you are. With what we've got, no one else can touch us.
It's refreshing to hear you say that, because I honestly, when I hear you speak and your salespeople speak about the ingenuities and all the other assets that we have to help you sell the product. I can just tell that you really use them the way they were designed to use, and I think that you get the benefit out of that, you know, and especially in a very competitive market where you really have to have that differentiator. So we appreciate that, and what can we do to help you on the marketing or sales side? What, to help your life be a little bit better, from that support standpoint.
Well, I learned a couple of bits today from Jen with the HOA and the builders, and then but they're all there. I just got to tap into them, like the marketing department with the digital billboard we want to do, the Facebook advertising and the co-op, and it's all there. It just needs to be tapped into.
Right.
And unfortunately, because I've been very busy, fortunately I've been very busy, I just haven't had the ability, and hopefully bringing Billy along will give us the extra ability to tap into all the assets and all the ingenuities and resources that you've got, that you give us.
Yeah, and all the opportunities that exist.
One of my favourite sayings is, if you come and work for us, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You've got to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Don't think you're going to come in, make a quick few bucks, and move out.
Yep.
We're in it for the full distance.
It's awesome, and then that gives you actually more valuable. It shows your employees that you value them, because you don't want to just invest in a fly-by-night.
Yeah, I don't want.
You don't want to use them, and you don't want them to use you.
Yeah. I don't want them to come in for a couple of weeks and then go.
Yeah.
I want them to come in, give them security, give them appreciation, and it'll come back to me via the customer. Yep. So we're trying to grow within.
Well, we're here to help you every step of the way. Thank you for taking the time to visit today, and
thank you for the education.
Yeah, and training, and thanks for taking the time to come to the Fence Show, ActiveYards edition. It's fun to have people from out of town. Hopefully, this will be the beginning of many people that will be in this seat on the set, and we'll have a bright future with that. Is there anything you'd like to leave with us? You have the whole team here. Any suggestions? Anything you would compliments, anything? We take it all. We'll take anything that's good or bad. You might want to say something nice about the person that you that represents you.
She can be a little bit fierce at times, but
Jen Welty.
No, I've got a dream team. Everyone, even like people from my office, I've now started getting them to speak to Matt. Matt's there to back them up. Becky for years. It's been it's awesome.
So you have a nice team, and your team is excellent, and you're happy with your team back at the office. Yeah. Then you have Matt, who takes your orders, and he's been doing a great job. Yeah. Then Jen has done a fantastic job, and Jen's a big advocate for you. She doesn't let time go by without really standing up for you and fighting for you and making sure you get everything that you need. So I think Jen has been a great asset for us both.
I think when she's bored, she gives me a call. So
I sense that too. Yeah. She calls me when she's bored also. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you for taking time to visit the Fence Show today, ActiveYards edition. And good luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And you guys, appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, everyone. Yay!